Hello, everyone. This is attorney Veronica McClendon, the CEO and managing attorney for McClendon Law and Consulting, located in Macon, Georgia. I want to come on here and talk just a few minutes about why attorneys charge consultation fees. As a law firm, when we get people calling our firm to schedule consultations, a lot of times people will ask, well, why do I have to pay for a consultation? I don't know if I like the lawyer. I don't know if I trust them. And so I want to make sure that I like them before I pay for the consultation. Well, I have a lot of reasons, a few reasons why attorneys will charge for a consultation, at least from my perspective, that I will share here. And I'm hoping that it will kind of make things a little bit less to take down the barrier of people being hesitant to pay for a consultation. So I would say the first reason for charging for a consultation is to make sure that you, as the potential client, are serious about making the appointment. So you might call and schedule with us and know, like, I'm going to make it. This is important to me. I will make sure that I am there. Well, we don't know that for sure. We have had many people who call us and say that I want to schedule a consultation, and then you show up for the consultation either in person or Zoom, and then that person is nowhere to be found. Then we call them and say, hey, we just wanted to see, are you going to make your consultation? Oh, something came up and I can't make it anymore. Or I decided to do something different, or I'm not as concerned about this anymore, and so I just decided not to go to the consultation. Or, someone might have the courtesy of calling at the last minute and saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. And I definitely get that things do come up, but when you have paid for that spot, more than likely you'll make it a priority. People are a little less hesitant to just pay for something and then not show up. And so that's one reason why attorneys may ask you to pay a consultation fee, because they want to make sure that you are serious about that appointment. Because time that we are there waiting to meet with you for your consultation, that's time that we could be working with another potential client, or we could be working on cases for our existing clients. And so when we block that time off, we're hoping that you'll be there so that we can be there with you. And when we charge for that, sometimes people are more inclined to show up. Another reason is because along the same lines, we are usually compensated for our time as attorneys. And so time that we spend with someone during a consultation is time that we're not able to spend working on cases that are generating legal fees or assisting people who have already paid us for services. And so, time is it's a very limited resource, in that we have the time we can't make any more. And so when we set aside time for a consultation, that's taken away from what we can be doing for a paid engagement. And so sometimes it's just a matter of making sure that time that you're spending with the potential client is compensated, because every time, every minute, every hour that an attorney is not working is an hour that the firm is not making money from that attorney working. It's also time that they are it's just taken away from other things. And we being a law firm owner, it has become very, very clear to me what it takes to keep the revenue going with a law firm. And one of those things is using your time effectively, making sure that the time you are working is time that you are being paid. And so as an attorney who charges for consultations, that's one of the reasons. It's because the time that I'm sitting there with you is time I'm not able to work on something else. And so that kind of leads into my next point, is if you want to make sure that the attorney that you are meeting with for your consultation is fully engaged with you, fully focused on you, and that you have their undivided attention, one way to secure that is to pay them for that time, because otherwise they're trying to figure out, okay, I'm sitting with this client and I have a client who has already paid me. So I'm trying to figure out how can I get their case work done even while I'm in the call with this person. And so they might be multitasking, sending emails, talking to their assistant, trying to get things done while they're meeting with you. But when you pay for that consultation time, more than likely that attorney is going to have set aside time just for you, specifically to address whatever questions and concerns you have, and they're not focused on other things, trying to get other things done. So if you want to have someone who's going to give you their undivided attention, one way to make sure that is to pay them for that time. Another thing I would add to that is, if you go to an attorney who does offer free consultations, there are many attorneys who offer outstanding consultations and do not charge for them. I used to offer consultations without charging fees, and sometimes I do if I'm doing a special promotion. And when I do, I try not to differentiate between this client paid and this client didn't, this potential client paid and this potential client didn't. I try to give everybody my undivided attention. But I have seen situations where people have come to me and say, well, I had a consultation with this lawyer and they told me this. And that information that lawyer gave them was completely wrong. It was just not even in the law anywhere. Or it might have been law from another state, because sometimes people call their friend who's a lawyer who's in another state, and that friend will do their best to help. Oh, I think this, and oh, I think that. But the laws are so different that unless you're paying a lawyer in your state, it's hard to know for sure this person is giving you advice or recommendations that are specific to your case. It's really hard to sit there and think through different scenarios when you're not being compensated for that. And so a lot of times attorneys will show up, they'll give whatever information they can give off the top of their heads, but they're not really putting as much into the information they're giving you because they haven't had any incentive to look into the situation further or provide you with more specific advice. And so it's one of those things where you get what you pay for. And if you don't pay for it, then you just might not get anything. It might feel good, like, oh, I talked to a lawyer today. But did you get what you really needed? And so sometimes making that investment for a consultation can ensure that you have someone who you have their undivided attention and they're really focused on helping you to figure out the next step for your situation. Another thing I'll say about paid consultations is that it helps us as attorneys to know if you are serious about hiring an attorney. A lot of times people are just calling around and just trying to get whatever information they can get. And that is very costly to a law firm to take out time to give information to someone who's not going to hire you. And so when we charge for a consultation, we at least know this person understands the value of my time and they are willing to pay. But if it's someone who doesn't want to pay for the consultation, you wonder, are they going to want to pay for the legal services? Because, if we don't think that you're going to become a client, it's hard to really be, fully engaged in that consultation. But I will say with that, sometimes paying for a consultation can be a great way to get some guidance, to get some advice without hiring a lawyer, because you've paid for their time and they're going to give you something for that time. Then you might say, well, actually, I don't need a lawyer, but I'm glad that I got this information. If you pay for that consultation, you might get more valuable information than you would get if you got a free consultation. Then you're still kind of wondering, okay, what do I need to do next? So those are just some things to consider. When lawyers are charging for consultations, it's not always because they're just money hungry. Usually that is not the case. It's very expensive to run a law firm. And so when we are asking to be paid for our services, it's not just being mean. It's because it's what it takes in order to run this law firm. So I just wanted to share that information with you all. If you've ever been, wondering, why do attorneys charge for consultations? Perhaps these are a few reasons why. And I also want to point out that everybody charges for consultations. I've never been to a doctor for free. Never had a person come to my house and check out my AC for free. Never had a plumber check out my clogged toilet for free. Everybody charges for consultations. So lawyers do too. Now, I want to add one more thing that might be contributing to some of the reasons why people are hesitant to pay for a consultation, is because there are a lot of lawyers who offer free consultations, especially in the personal injury realm, bankruptcy. In those places, it's not customary to charge for consultations. And in some situations, it might even be against the law to charge for a consultation. And so those kind of scenarios create this expectation that perhaps most lawyers don't charge for consultations. But if you look carefully, you'll see there are certain types of lawyers that tend to offer free consultations. And in those cases, you may or may not talk to the actual lawyer. You may be talking to a member of their staff, and that person is more so collecting information from you rather than giving you good legal advice about what to do next. So, just really think through those things when you're consulting with lawyers to see, okay, what am I actually getting for this free consultation? So I just wanted to put that out there as well, that sometimes the lawyers who are offering free consultations, they're doing that because that's the type of practice they have where free consultations are the norm. But there are a lot of areas of practice where free consultations are not the standard practice. And so you might see more attorneys asking that you pay a consultation fee. So I just wanted to put that out there, share that information. I'm hoping that it was helpful to you. If it was helpful, feel free to share it with a friend, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and I hope to see you again for our next video. Have a great day.